Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, with another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what is that done? That done is the creation of a brand new book by January 1st, 2021, or to be more precise, the uploading of the press-ready PDF files to Amazon's Kindle Direct publishing platform, where I will indeed be publishing a brand new book that looks something like this. Yep, that's the cover right there. It's already designed and ready to go. There's a few things that need to be changed on it. However, the book is called NONFICTION BRAND. Discover, craft, and communicate the completely true, completely you brand you already are. And that's what it's all about. It's all about creating a truly authentic nonfiction personal brand for yourself and your small business so that you can truly demonstrate who you are, what you do, and how you do it in a way that differentiates you in the marketplace and yet is 100% true to who you are. And that's a trick, actually, because authenticity is a word that's bandied about by a lot of people, and yet most of the people I see using it are about as authentic as faux pearls or, vegan leather. Nah, yeah, an oxymoron like that. Anyway, I'm not here to litigate that. I'm here to actually work on this book and get it moving forward in one form or another. So I'm actually using an application called Scrivener to write this bad boy of a book, and I'm just opening it up right now so that I can now show it to you. And there you go. It looks something like that. And over here is the main body where you write the book. And then over here on the side, that's where you write the book. Over here on the side is where you actually have your chapters or sections, whatever you want to call it. Now, last night, qualify, thank you. Pretty sure I'm on. Last night, I was working on this section about Christian Small, and he is in this week's episode of the Nonfiction Brand podcast number 107, and he's also in next week's episode of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, because I always have my guests on 2 podcasts in a row. And he told me this fantastic story that I definitely want to insert a block quote of his verbatim words from the podcast here. And to do that, I need to get the transcription of those words. Now, I, in the past, have literally done the manual thing of listen, 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 type, 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 listen, 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 type, type, type. And it takes forever. And then my friend Stephanie Liu suggested, hey, have you ever heard of Descript? And I'm like, no. And she said, well, you should check it out. So this is Descript. And this is a local app that resides on my MacBook Pro, but it also connects via the old internets to Descript.com, and there's an AI that they have that actually reads the audio or listens to the audio and then creates the transcript of whatever you want transcribed. And they say it's 96% accurate. I think that's probably about right, to be honest. But anyway, I'm going to start a new one of these with the brand new episode that I just edited this morning for episode 108 of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, where Christian Small tells me this incredible story about how he may not have qualified for the Australian Open, but someone who followed his adventure journey on social media actually gave $10,000 to the charity of his choice in his name. And somebody else did too. They didn't have $10,000, they had $1,000. So people inspired by his truly nonfiction brand oriented journey donated $11,000 in his name to the charity that he pointed to. I mean, come on, that's really, really cool. And I want to get that. So what I have to do is I've got to go over to the podcast, which I've just edited today, and I need to drag this into Descript and just drop it. And bing bong, it's adding the file, which it has done successfully. And now it's going to, I'm going to say over here, detect speakers. I'm going to say there are 2, because there were in fact 2. I'm going to hit that transcribe button. It's going to transcribe it, but in just a few seconds, it's going to ask me to identify the speakers. So I'm going to wait for that to happen, because you can see it's just chunking its way through this, I think it's like 21-minute episode. And it'll take a little bit, and here we go. Identify speakers. Thank you very much. Get started. All I have to do...
I think we do what we do, and we do it to a point where we're...
Right, that's Christian Small. Clip 2 of 2. Well, that's going to be me. So I can close that up. And when it creates the transcript, it's actually going to give the attribution to the correct speaker. I think that's tremendously cool. Hey, I've been playing with the size and shape of this picture-in-picture thing. Let's see if I take it up just a little bit more. That won't be too obnoxious, will it? Maybe it will. We're going to try it for a while. So anyway, here's a Descript. And if I went through and I made all the corrections and stuff, that would take a while, probably like half an hour to go through it all. But I'm not interested in that. I want to get to his story. So here's Christian telling it in the podcast. Let's see. As he tells it in the story, episode 108 of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, there were quite a few people who enjoyed coming along on his journey and were inspired to do some of the things they've wanted to do by his completely true, completely Christian example. Perhaps the most impressive and unexpected example, following complete example. I need another word for example. So dictionary, where are you, my friend? Pop up here. English thesaurus. Example. Paradigm template. Boop. Maybe role model. Wanted to do by following perhaps the most impressive and unexpected. What is it? Unexpected example. Find example. What's an example? Illustration. Thank you. Thank you. Illustration is what I'm going to go with. Of his impact came in the form of a check. Here's Christian telling the story. All right. Christian. 45 kilos. Runner, charity. Here we go. Yeah. So let's see. Another thing was, so I'm going to grab all this stuff. Because I'm going to plug it in here and do a little cleanup. Let me get rid of... Get rid of some of this highlighting mess. And also italicize this. Dang it. I've got a, yeah, here I can just grab this. Make sure I update it to 108. To the lighthouse, foundation, which is a charity that looks after kids who are in trouble at home in Melbourne. In Melbourne. All right, that's my wow. I can take my wow out. All you got to do is finish. And you do. Amazing guy. I'm going to take his name out because I don't know. He came to me and was affected in a positive way by what I was doing. All right, I'm going to read this through and make changes as I go. So the other thing was I got a guy who's a friend of mine who is a really inspiring guy who lives his life in an inspiring way, who I looked up to, when I was probably about 160 days in, and he comes to me one day and he says, let's do an ellipsis. And he says, I'm following what you're doing and I'm really inspired by it. I was like, yeah, right. Why? Yeah, right. Why? Like the whole time along, they didn't really feel I was doing anything special. But to get a guy I'm going to say I didn't feel really I was doing anything special. But to get a guy who inspires me, who I looked at the way he lives his life and the way he acts and responds and behaves, it was like a big thing for me to sort of hear that. And he said, well, he said, I'm retired. I've got everything going my way. I don't have any responsibility. And my life is fantastic. He said, I can't get half the stuff done in the day you get done in a day. You get done. Yeah, you're working and got a wife and family. It's a responsibility. It's a responsibility. And he said, what I want to do and whether you qualify for the Australian Open or not. All right, I'm not gonna put quotes in all these. I'm gonna do a little bit. It's fantastic. And I said to him, like, what the exact thing? He said, well, what is that, 160 days? All right.
160 something days of it. And I said to him, okay, well, what do you exactly mean? He said, well, I want to
days of it. So that's a days. Of it. And I said to him, like, what the exact thing? And I said, days of it. He said, well, I want to donate some money to a charity of your choice. All you got to do is finish 191 days. And if you do, I'll donate $10,000 to whatever charity. And I was like, wow, pretty cool to think that a person who and that was at the stage in their life, you know, he's retired, he's an amazing guy. He came to me and was that affected in a positive way by what I was doing. Yeah, he said to me, you told me who you want the charity doing. Okay, get rid of that sentence. So that was a pretty moody, amazing moment and something like that. So that was a something moment.
Pretty moving moment and something.
Moving moment and something that was pretty amazing and something that in one of my posts after, I had another person, a lady actually, who said, I saw what you posted. I'd like to donate $1,000 also to the same charity. So, ended up donating to the Lighthouse Foundation. Cool. Only inspired himself, but knows how many people around the world. I didn't. Including me. But wait, it gets even better. So this is 2,000 words. All right. That's pretty good. That's good for tonight. It's a Saturday night, and I don't need to be here all night. So I think I'm going to say bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching and helping me keep my promise to do this, because why am I doing 301 days to the publishing of a new book? Because this guy inspired me to by publicizing his journey toward his goal via social media. I didn't even follow him on social media. I heard the story secondhand, and that was more than inspirational enough for me to get off my butt and get in my chair and actually work on this book. So thank you, Christian Small, for the inspiration, and thank you for helping keep me honest on my pretty big, hairy, audacious goal to get this book done by January 1st, 2021. That's it for me today. I'm DP Knudten with the Nonfiction Brand podcast. This week's episode, number 107, is with Christian Small, and next week's episode, which premieres on Monday, is also number 108, is also with Christian Small, talking about everything I've just been dealing with right here. So check it out wherever you get your fine podcasts for free. That's it for me tonight, and I'm going to say see you tomorrow. But before I do that, theme music, take us on out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.